had the most epic Team Skeptic fail ever.
You including me in this fail?
Yes, I'm including you in this. Because you played along with this whole thing. So I hit start streaming on OBS, and I thought before when I hit that it automatically started streaming on YouTube, and apparently it didn't go. Are we too quiet? Like, seriously? Alright, so I guess I am going to have to put this on my...
Put the tiny microphone on.
Put the tiny microphone on.
It's not going to hurt you.
It's not going to hurt me. Here, let's flip this around.
Flip the script. I'm just saying.
Another big... Can you hear me better now? You should be able to hear me a lot better.
Can you hear me now?
Like, seriously? Pump up the volume, they're saying. So where did I have Mike before? 1 second, guys. I'm going to see how this goes. And Surf says hi to Chase.
Oh, hello.
Let's do let's go in here. Let's see if we can add. Oh, no, that did not add. So now how do I put this back in there again? There we go. Bloop. Plop it back in. Anyways, so we had a epic Team Skeptic fail. I click go live. I watched the whole intro thing that you guys saw. I transitioned over to this, and we're talking away. We're talking. I'm asking, how is the volume? Y'all are sitting there chatting. I'm like, no one's answering how my volume is.
Just really talking shit.
Yes,
on you
I was getting pissed. I was like, what the hell? How come no one is responding to us?
Everyone sucks.
Let me see if I can pump it up, because we used this last time, and
I
we
think
were
your
more than.
computer is slowly turning against you.
I think it is. So let's see. We got that going. Maybe if we try switching it through, press buttons until it's fixed, he says. So you guys get to enjoy the second time I'm going to fail tonight on this live stream. I need to figure out here now how to make this audio work properly. And we'll see properties. So I apologize for this, guys. I don't know why it was so good the last time we streamed and why it's not so great this time around. Let's flip over to this microphone. And can you hear us better now?
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Is that a lot better? It's showing that it's peaking a lot better this time than what it was. So I don't know what happened with the microphone.
He just wasn't interested in talking, guys.
And boom, there it is. So we're gonna do, which is kind of good. Then I don't have to worry about that being on my shoulder. So now that y'all can hear us better, we went through like that whole 15 minutes you guys were waiting before the intro started. We were chatting, we were talking. It was showing that we were streaming on my end, and I have no clue why it didn't go. Because like I said before, in OBS I hit start streaming and it just would automatically start going, and this time around, no, it did not. So I was going through this long chit chat and nothing happened. It's peaking hard, so let's do this.
What's it mean it's peaking hard?
It means that it likes to look inside you, deep inside. Is that a little bit better? Is it not peaking as bad now?
Sounds like a herd.
Cool. I know I have a tendency to project a lot.
And
so,
I don't.
Yeah, he doesn't project very much, and I project a ton. So hopefully now, is that sound better? Alright, cool. The joys of trying to figure this stuff out.
Thank God someone else is.
And there we go. And so Chase is playing Minecraft on the TV, and when we were doing the opener, the time that I thought we actually were going, there was cows mooing, and so then when we started, I was kind of chuckling because there were cows mooing, and then I got into about videos that I want to do coming up, and I said, we just got done watching Little Wolf's interview with Alien X, or Alien X's interview with Little Wolf. It should be that way. And it was awesome. And I know a lot about Wolf, but there is even more I kind of learned in there, which is very cool. And that's exactly why I love watching those interviews. And I'm sure that's why you guys are all here too. At least now I'm getting the answers as far as the volume, because for 15 minutes from 9 o'clock on, I was asking, how's the volume? Oh, you guys are all talking about your astrological signs. They're talking about Pisces. Oh, Alien X says he's an Aquarium, so then he must want all those people in him. Like, I had good shit. It was funny.
I just got that joke.
You just...
When you were describing last night, I did not get it. I thought you were just like making some sort of play on something.
So
all right, I'm following now. I'm following along. Everyone.
We love Chase.
Oh my god, the skeleton's kicking. Okay.
So I was talking about videos that are coming up soon for me, and I have a video coming out tomorrow for Les Irrelevables. I'm going to try and be a part of that tomorrow now, or Thursdays. I have no clue how to say that word. Les Irrelevables, yeah. And sarcastic barman always says Les Irrelevables, so I'm going with that too. That's how I'm gonna say it. So tomorrow my video is going to be a short talk on the drones that I have, and then it's going to have a video of drone footage. I have my very first drone video out there with a song that I love, but I did not do that song justice with the video that I created. It was terrible. It was terrible. It was terrible.
It was like, okay, yeah.
Yeah. It was before I had good editing software.
You got so good at editing. Like, you have fun when it comes to editing.
Yeah, like,
and I feel like some people really probably hate editing.
Yes, and so here's what happened. Not only did I fail tonight with trying to get this stream going, but I failed at creating a video last night. I went over to my friend's Jerry's because I wanted a video of how a parachute gets deployed on a skydiving rig. On a sport rig. So I jump a 150 square foot rectangular canopy currently, and I did buy a semi-elliptical canopy that I don't have on there yet because it's downsizing and I want to get, being able to get good at it. Or not get good, but before you downsize, you should really be comfortable with what you're flying. And by downsizing to the one that I bought, it's a different platform. It flies a little bit differently, and it's smaller, so it's going to be faster. I'm going to come down quicker under canopy. I held off going live. Yeah, sorry. I'm so sorry, Seek Truth, that it got held off 15 minutes. I did not mean to do that. But anyways, so going on to that, I go over to his place. So we start making the video of how everything comes out of the rig and how the canopy opens and all that other stuff. And then I was going to do a time lapse of me packing the parachute, because I was like, y'all don't need to know how to pack a parachute, but it's probably going to be cool to see someone actually packing it. Unless you guys actually want a video of me talking about packing a parachute.
You should just get into skydiving.
Yeah, just get into skydiving. And Jerry, my friend, who's going to help me out with it, I taught him how to pack 3 years ago, and then he got into skydiving, and Chase did his jump 2 years ago, but he still doesn't know how to pack.
No.
But that's okay.
So I don't need to know ever.
So I come home and I look at the video, and it was a mess. It wasn't good. We didn't have the space. We didn't have the lighting or anything else like that. Yes, packing a parachute, not packing. Not packing.
Is this a gay joke?
It's a gay joke. Um, uh, I got Chayse to skydive. That's actually how I proposed to him. For any of you who don't know, if you didn't watch the interview with Alien X that I had,
which you should go to his channel, check it out, not right now.
For my birthday, Chayse was going to do a skydive, and he thought he was being cool by inviting our friends, but I actually had it all planned out ahead of time, and they were already coming, and so then he did his skydive for my birthday, and then when we both were down on the ground, then I proposed to him. So yes, that's how that went. But so when I do come out with the video of how the parachute gets deployed and everything, then I'm going to probably put the video from last night that was a nightmare. That'll probably go in the bloopers, because if you watch any of my videos, I always put bloopers at the very end, except for tomorrow's. Tomorrow's the blooper. The one blooper I had is going to be the beginning. But I'll probably put that at the end so you can see how terrible it is. I like Dark Steve says he'll go watch now. Dark Steve, you can go now. You know, like it's okay if you want to go watch it now.
Hey,
no, I love you, Dark Steve. I love you. Let's see. Tony goes, have you tried or thought about powered parachuting? I have thought about it. Paragliding, the powered or the regular. I thought about that. There was a guy. Well, he did unpowered. A guy that I was teaching inside the wind tunnel. I was he used to do that professionally, and he was trying to break world records by paragliding the longest distances, but unpowered. And I would love to get into powered paragliding, because I love flying. I have my private pilot's license, and so I love flying. However, it got really expensive when the economy took a dump back in the late 2000s. I used to be able to rent an airplane with fuel for $69 giggity per hour, and then it jumped up to about $130 per hour with fuel. So I kind of let my license lapse. So I would absolutely love to get into it. Anything that's aviation related, I really like. So let's see. We got more people. Alien sex. Oh, I don't even want to know where we're going there.
What? Alien sex? What's going on here? Is this a Katy Perry video? She talked about it.
Alien sex? She talked about alien sex?
In her song. Oh shit, that's a one.
Now Tina, okay, so hopefully I wonder if she goes, it's quiet now. I wonder if she's talking about the chat. Wingsuits are kind of cool. I'm iffy on wingsuits. You have to have, well, it's recommended, but you have to have your Class C license and minimum of 200 jumps in order to do a wingsuit. Because when you go to deploy your parachute, it is different than if you're just doing a regular skydive, because you have a lot of forward momentum. So as you're flying forward, you actually kind of have to pitch your body in an upright position a little bit to slow down. Because if you're flying forward really fast and you pitch your pilot chute to pull out your parachute, you're going to get yanked back so hard, and it hurts like hell.
Have I seen some wingsuit stuff when you're out there?
I don't know if anyone was doing wings. There might have been one or two people doing wingsuit stuff when you were out there. It's really unique. It's not okay. It's not really my cup of tea. I mean, I might try it once, but it's not really for me. I like doing formation flying, kind of like what you saw in the opener. 3-way, 4-way, 5-way, 6-way, 8-way. Hell yeah. That kind of stuff. And then I like free flying, which is kind of like the heads up or sit fly, or the head down flying. It's a much faster way of falling. So like we jump out at 13,000 feet above the ground. If you belly fly, like which was in my opener, you have about a minute of free fall before you deploy your parachute. If you're doing heads up or heads down flying, it's probably only about 40 seconds of free fall. So you're dropping that much quicker just by doing that. So that's my typical way of skydiving. So, but I was talking about earlier when we first opened up. Hey Nicole, how's it going? Gotcha Heckfire. was going to talk about videos I was going to be coming up with. Well, I did talk about it when I thought we were streaming. So I want to do the video of how the parachute is released. I was going to do kind of like a walk around of iFly and how the wind tunnel works and how the driver's booth works, because obviously we got to control the wind from the driver's booth. I was talking about the hand signals. If you notice my last Up in the Air episode, I said episode number 6, and tomorrow you'll see me say episode number 7. Some military people know that, but otherwise, wind tunnel, you have to do a lot of hand signals, and you have to do a lot of mouth reading, and then Chayse had a joke on that. I don't remember what it was.
Me either, but I'm just
so
gonna wing
that's long in the past. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, and 0. So if I want a wind speed of 72%, 72. What happens if you open your parachute much closer to the ground? If you open your parachute much closer to the ground, what happens is you open your parachute much closer to the ground.
You're so helpful.
I mean, it depends. Like, so if I deploy my parachute at 5,000 feet and I deploy it at 3,500 feet, that's technically much closer to the ground than 5,000 feet. So I'm deploying it much closer to the ground. No, so here's the thing. If I am still at free fall speeds, and you saw my episode talking about skydiving safety gear, there's that AAD in there, automatic activation device. If I'm still at free fall speeds, I have mine set for 1,100 feet. So if I'm still at that speed, 1,100 feet, my reserve parachute is automatically going to deploy for me. So if I'm knocked out, blacked out, sick, unconscious, whatever, I'll have a canopy overhead. And even if I have a malfunction that's causing me to descend quickly under my main parachute, it could still possibly deploy the reserve depending on what the fall rate is. Otherwise, I would just deploy my reserve anyways at my hard deck. Sorry, Bailey's sick and he's hacking. So the difference in free fall time disproves the Flurf theory that it's all about relative density. Exactly, Tony Regime. My goal for this summer is to, for one, make a density column. And I want to take a density column on a couple skydives, not just one. So that way, being it's a minute of free fall, I'm going to try to fall as slowly as possible, which, if you don't think there's a thing as falling slowly, go back and watch my last video. Y'all need to catch up on videos if you haven't seen them. Talk about fall rates in there. Try to fall as slow as I can and show the density column, and I want to go on several jumps so it can show what happens there. And then I also did that video for huge Arse showing, altimeters to basically prove that there's a pressure gradient, and that's how my altimeters work. What's the lowest you can open, and where do you open it? For me, what I like to think of is you have your decision altitude and you have your hard deck. Your decision altitude is if you have a malfunction of some kind. If you throw out your pilot chute and nothing comes out and you have a bag lock, you either reach back and try to tug on the bridle from the pilot chute in hopes that then it pulls it out, or if you have really bad line twists, if you have a cell that won't inflate, if you have lines that are broken, what's your decision altitude to cut away? For me, it's 2,500 feet. So if I get to 2,500 feet and I can't fix whatever malfunction I have, I cut away my main, pop my reserve. Now my hard deck is, so let's say I have a good canopy and I'm coming down and I get to like 2,000 feet, 1,500 feet, whatever it is, and things are still kind of weird. Rather than cutting away my main canopy, I am going to deploy my reserve, because the thing is, at that point, you just want as much fabric over your head as possible. So rather than cutting away the main, I will deploy the parachute. Come 1,000 feet. It's like no ifs, ands, or buts. Get that reserve out at 1,000 feet, because that's going to help slow you down before you get to the ground. So that's my kind of decisions for everything else like that. And a lot of skydivers, that's pretty much what it is for them too, is like a 2,500 or 2,000 foot decision altitude and 1,000 foot hard deck. So that's where I go with that. And then I was, what else? What other videos did I say I was coming up with? In the military, wouldn't they want to get to the ground as soon as possible? And what is the lowest can be opened safely? It all depends.
Good question.
Right, very good question. I don't know on Halo jumps how low they actually go. I would hope that they don't go any lower than 1,000 feet because, like I said, that's kind of our hard deck as skydivers as it is. Because if you do have a main parachute issue, what are you going to do? And I'm assuming that they go through some sort of training with that. Maybe they do deploy at 1,000 feet. And if their canopy is weird, or if they have line twists or whatever it is, and they can't kick out the line twists, then maybe they deploy their reserve, immediately or something. With the USPA, the United States Parachutists Association, they have it's suggestions, but if there's a safety officer basically at the drop zone, they will ground you for a week, month, whatever it is. Basically, you can't go in the air, so you're grounded.
Literally
you're stuck
grounded.
on the ground, right?
It's so funny to me.
And they'll ground you and say you can't jump at that drop zone for however long if they catch you kind of breaking the guidelines to the USPA. So certain licenses allow you to open lower and lower. So like if you are a Class A license, I think they want you deploying your parachute by like 3,500 feet. Whereas, like, if you're a C or D license, I believe it's like 2,500 feet you're allowed to deploy, and stuff like that. So, Wolf, are you going? We will talk to you later, little Wolf. Have fun at work. Don't work too hard, and don't let that old lady drive you nuts. So there's that with the guidelines of the USPA. Like I said, you don't have to follow them, but there can be punishments, I guess, if you don't. When I was in the Air Cadets, they told us to cross our left foot in front of our right foot so they could unscrew us out of the ground if our chutes didn't open. Yes, kind of like that old cadence, if my chute don't open wide, look out below. If my chute don't open wide, look out below. No. Gonna splatter all over the countryside or something like that. It's some old cadence.
Dark, but it makes sense.
So, how low are you allowed to go if you wanted to, and how many jumps have you done? So, like I said, with the USPA guidelines, the lowest I've gone is 2,500. Personally, I like altitude, right? We usually break away from a formation, like you saw in the opener, break away from a formation around 4,500 feet, somewhere in there. And I like to have fabric over my head by 2,500 because that's typically my decision altitude. And so I like to see, make sure I don't have any malfunctions. But you could go lower. Like I said, I wouldn't say it's a good idea. And then as far as jumps, I only have about 257 jumps right now. I didn't jump this last summer at all. They were open, but my AAD has expired. The 16 years for it has expired, and I don't want to jump without an AAD. I just don't like the thought of not having one in there. You don't have to jump with one, but I like knowing that it's in there. And then you do have to get a reserve repack every 6 months. And when we first went on lockdown, I didn't, there wasn't anything about.
Well, you knew nothing about what was going to be happening.
Yeah, I didn't know. Right.
Especially with the mystery of COVID, like. We didn't even know, let alone you could go shopping. How the hell are you supposed to skydive?
Right. So I spent money on other things to pass time, not realizing that, I thought I was going to be going back to work, a month or two after the lockdown. So I spent money on, some hobby stuff. And I didn't know if the drop zone would even be open. So I didn't spend the $1,200 to get an AAD. Instead, I spent money on other things.
Well, and also like even like the drop zone, they didn't know how they were tackling it either,
Right.
and like wasn't there people who they were doubting, like they'd be like, okay, this is happening, but how long is this really going to happen?
You know, and I don't want to say like I was afraid of it, because I'm like.
At the time, it's a little
Right,
suspicious.
I'm not afraid of it, but at the same time, I don't want to be packed in an airplane of 18 people crammed in there, and I know everyone's wearing masks and stuff like that, but I'd rather just be safe than sorry, me personally. So I just skipped the skydiving, so I'm only at 257. I would have probably got huge numbers if I would have went jumping this summer and spent my money on that, but it's alright. There's all sorts of different, so your Class A license, you have to have a minimum of 25 jumps. You go through different classes. Your B license is a minimum of 50 jumps, and usually they have you take a canopy course where you purposely stall your canopy. So just like an airplane, when they pitch up and they lose lift and they start to drop down, how do you recover from that? Same thing with skydiving canopy. You purposely stall it, and it's scary as shit, because they tell you, look up, and you see your canopy literally inflated, and it just goes bloop. And your immediate reaction, obviously, is because you're pulling down on your toggles to squeeze as much air out of it and to slow your flight down as much as possible, and then it just basically collapses. So your immediate reaction is to want to lift your arms up right away, and that can just cause even more issues. So you got to learn how to let your hands up real slowly to allow the canopy to inflate again slowly.
That sounds terrifying.
Right, and then they have you do what happens if you have a long spot, meaning what happens if you get out of the airplane much further away from the drop zone than you were expecting. How do you fly your canopy so that way you can make it back to the drop zone? So that's required for that, and then the Class C license, that's minimum of 200 jumps, and then that's when you can start jumping with a GoPro on your helmet, and you can start jumping with a wingsuit. And the reason why they want you to have 200 jumps before you jump with a GoPro is because it's a tangle hazard. So if you have the GoPro on the top of your helmet, or some of them are a chin mount, and you deploy your parachute and all these lines are coming up, what happens if the lines get tangled around the GoPro, wherever it may be? They want to make sure that you have enough jumps under your belt that you're going to be calm when the situation arises, if it arises. Are you going to cut away your main parachute right away, or are you going to try to ditch your helmet? Which, or there should be, even on some of them, there's a GoPro release where, what would you rather get rid of, the GoPro, or would you rather get rid of your life? So it's one of those things too. And then the Class D license, I believe, is 500 jumps. And once you get there, then that's when you start to kind of become eligible for a tandem instructor. And I think you have to have 5 hours total of free fall time, and you have to be in the sport minimum of 3 years. And I can't remember the requirement of jumps. So right now, with my 257 skydives, I think I'm just barely over, or just barely under 3 hours of free fall time, meaning I've spent 3 hours of my life literally plummeting to the earth. Sorry if the dogs go a little bit crazy. Let's see, strapping it down by your member should help the cords miss. Yeah, but then you might not get very good video shots. And Surf, I would argue that not every airplane is perfectly good, nor is every pilot perfectly good. If I show you video of the airplane we jump out of, there's a big hole in the back, and that hole's not supposed to be there. And so that's why we jump out of it. But that's another video idea I had coming up. I showed you guys the safety things of a skydiving rig and what's all on there and how it all works. But I was thinking about making a video on the safety prior to the jump. When you're all geared up, what do you look for? How do we go through it? Making sure other skydivers are ready to go and safe to go, and what happens on the airplane if the airplane's below 1,000 feet and there's an emergency. What happens if the airplane's above 2,000 feet and there's an emergency? what happens if the door is open and someone's pilot chute isn't at the bottom of their container anymore? The pilot chute is this tiny little parachute that pulls the whole rest out of the rig. So what do you do if that's bouncing around? You know, what if they're at the door and their pilot chute is out? What do you do then? What happens during free fall if something happens? You know, so I want to do a video on all that at some point. So that's a video I want to do at some date. I was talking about real quickly too. One of my videos that I've come up with was the time lapse of the rocket, which Little Wolf left, and I was hoping he would have heard this quick too, because I talked about this in that first 15 minutes. Big Dog was the winner for the time lapse, and if Chris Durham Music Channel is around, I'm probably still going to build Nike X sometime later down the road and do a time lapse of that. But I would love video ideas from people on what you might like to see or what you want to hear about. So that's some stuff. If you guys have more skydiving questions, I could talk about it obviously all night long, or we can go on to a different thing. And they're all like, only 257. That's actually really low for licensed skydivers. Most people that I know are well over 1,000. Mary, who works out at a drop zone about 2 hours from here, she has over 20,000 skydives.
That's insane to think that much time. Just falling. Like, it is the weirdest perspective, you know, doing it just once. I'm a master of knowing it. But, like,
right.
It's really weird.
Right.
You're literally just in the sky.
20,000 skydives, and it's like, something called a hop and pop that even counts as a skydive. It's you jump out the door and you deploy your parachute pretty much right away.
Yeah, and you guys are just playing out
But
there.
so when she speaks, you listen. She's got so much knowledge, and when I was going to get my coach rating for skydiving, she knew that I had my private pilot's license because she's also a pilot, so she flies it too. The airplane. She doesn't jump out of the airplane she's flying. She keeps flying it. So she was kind of testing me a little bit on that when I was going to get my coach rating. And Chris, you wanted Big Dog. There was someone who wanted Alien X, and I probably still will do that at some point later down the road. And Surf goes, I didn't say perfectly good. A few holes are still good.
Wink.
So let's see. I want to write a few wink. Someone got out of the plane at the wrong time near the gun range here, and they were screaming, "Don't shoot, don't shoot," as they landed on the range. Oh my God.
That's stressful.
Right? To be hearing all that, and you're just like, I hope they hear me coming down because I do not want to. You know, the thing though is, if they're gonna land on a range, like, was that the only out they could find? Because like. That's another thing is, right, you like, if you know that you're off, you look for any place to land, and I mean, I'll land in a field of cow shit, I think, before I'd go land at, like, an active firing range, just so I wouldn't have to be screaming, like, I'm coming down, you know, because, yeah.
No, don't shoot me.
And Dark Steve goes, the blub skydive.
Oh my God.
So I
think. Is it like the undie, like 100 undie or whatever they call it?
So once you get to your 100th skydive, you're supposed to do it's the undie hundy, where either you jump in your underwear or you skydive naked. And I won't.
Do you know anyone that's skydiving naked?
Yes, I do. I've known plenty of people who skydive naked. In fact, I was at a drop zone once when the guy was doing his 100th jump naked, and
he landed right on you.
It looks so painful. Like, for a guy, you just see flapping on the thighs, back and forth between the thighs, and it's like, that doesn't look comfortable. And then if you have a fast opening, that's even more painful.
Oh,
no.
If you ever watch a video of a fast opening, it looks so painful. I remember you had, like, I can't remember who it was, but they were like a petite gal. I think it's Brooke or whatever.
Probably.
But, like, shoot release, and you just see him go.
Yep, she's just like...
and it looks so painful.
Well, see, if it's video of someone who's still in free fall when their parachute is opening, it looks really fast and abrupt, but yeah, it's still...
Okay, but I've seen your videos, and that's why I'm saying it's like, you can tell someone who's had like a little rough.
Yeah.
But like when you see someone just zip out, yeah, you're falling and they're going up, but it looks horrible.
I've had a few hard openings where it's left bruises on my thighs, and it's not fun. And it really does boil down to pack jobs and how you do it. And there's a slider in there, and get this, the slider slides down the lines while the parachute is opening, and it's supposed to help the parachute open slower because of tension, and then as it's sliding down the lines. If you don't quarter your slider and you don't put it in properly when you're packing, you have a fast hard opening, and it is painful, and your neck will hurt, and your back hurts, and everything hurts, and it sucks. Yes, atomic wedgie to the max, 100%. And gosh, the heck, fire! I don't think I've done any one thing to 20,000 times. We'd have to do some math. I don't know how old you are, but maybe you've slept. That's probably way too many days. I don't know how many. I can't do math right now. And oops, did I miss a question? New question. What speed are you flying when you jump? As in, what speed is the airplane, or what speed am I free falling at? Because that's the next thing too. Is if we're flying in the Caravan, we're on average we're about 80 to 95 knots. Sometimes 100 knots. It depends on what the winds are doing. We try to point the airplane in the wind when we're at altitude. I'd probably say between 85 95 knots is probably the speed that we're exiting the airplane. That's the other thing too. When you skydive, people think you're going to get this sinking stomach feeling, and you have to remember you're going forward in the airplane. So when you leave, you're not just dropping right away. You have that forward throw, so you're going forward and down at the same time, kind of doing that parabola arch before you start free falling, so you don't get a sinking feeling. I just claim it as like you're going from a not windy day to a super windy day. It is. And then I've jumped out of a 182 and a 210, and the 182, there was really high upper level winds in North Dakota at the time, and we exited the airplane, and it's kind of fun because I was hanging on the strut, so I was dangling from the strut before I let go, and it's really cool. I think our ground speed was 40 knots, and so 40 knots was the slowest, and that you kind of get not so much the sinking feeling, but you notice it a little bit more versus the 90 knots. And
something light.
So he goes, if I have slept every night since birth, I have slept 17,885 times. So you're well on your way to that, right? You're close to that 20,000, and then you can say you've done something 20,000 times. So I have never jumped. I almost had the chance to jump out of a helicopter, but weather came in and I didn't get to jump out of the helicopter.
Sad.
I know. Helicopters and hot air balloons I'm nervous about because those you aren't doing that moving forward.
Oh, it scares me from a hot air balloon watching people more than an airplane.
I know, because it's like, and the other thing too is like, once you get up so high, it all starts to look the same. And so I don't want to say you don't realize how far away from the ground are, but when you jump out like from a helicopter at like 3,000 feet or a hot air balloon from 3,000 feet, you know that you're that low, and it scares me. And so like when you're getting your license, you have to do a hop and pop, and you have to do one from 5,000 feet, and you have to do one from 3,500 feet, and that's because if there was an emergency, how get out of the airplane, deploy your parachute type thing. So they kind of preps you for that stuff. And that's the 3,500 one kind of made me nervous because you realize how low you are compared to like 13,000 feet or even 5,000 feet. It makes a big difference. And then fall rate is between Alien X Gaming. He's probably rubbed one out 20,000 times. I'm going to say that live for everyone to hear. Wait, what did he rub out? The wax on his car?
Wax on, wax off.
He goes, now he feels like he's accomplished something. Yeah, that totally blocked my mind. But fall rate speed, on average, fall rate is probably 115 to 130 miles per hour. I don't know what that would be in kilometers per hour. And then if you're doing, that's belly to earth. If you're doing heads up or heads down flying, probably between 150 to 180 miles per hour. So, we talked about the 10,000 hours of doing something to achieve the level of perfection. Chris Durham Music Channel. Here's
Use your full name.
No, here's what I say, and Chase liked this one the other day. They say practice makes perfect, but nobody's perfect. So why practice? Right? Right? I mean, just saying. Anyways, do you got things you want to say or talk about? Do you guys got questions for Chase at all? Because this is a hangout, and I like the skydiving stuff is cool, and I like talking about it. But I also like talking about a lot of other things. This past weekend we talked about this in the 15 minutes before everyone heard it. We made
goulash,
right.
which really tasted like ooh la. I've been waiting to say that.
Ooh la.
Like ooh la la. God.
Like,
God.
I don't know song references.
That's not a song reference.
Then I don't
ooh la
know.
la. People just say that. People just say that, Tanner.
Tasted like ooh la la. We made goulash, and it could have fed the family from 19 and counting. We have so much goddamn goulash left over, and so next time either we'll make the sauce and just make a chili out of it, or we're not going to use as many noodles at all. And so it was good. And then we made 7-layer bars. Some people call them magic bars. I've always heard them called 7-layer bars. And if you don't know what that is, it's 7 main ingredients: butter, crushed graham cracker for the crust, and then regular chocolate chips, white chocolate chips, butterscotch chips, crushed peanuts or walnuts or any kind of nut. Wink, giggity. And then you put sweet condensed milk over that, and then you put crushed coconut on the top of that, or shredded coconut, however you want to word it, and you throw it in the oven. And it's the most amazing thing ever, and it's so good. And that's half the reason why I gained the COVID-30 when we all went into lockdown. I decided COVID-19, I got you beat. I got the COVID-30.
Yeah, we really went wild.
So you guys want to know about the dogs? That's what's, where did I see it? Sam, I think Sam, or no, who asked about the dogs? Damn it. Oh, gosh, a heck fire. Tell us about the puppers. So we got Bailey. Come here, buddy. We got old man Bailey. He is 14 years old, and I got him when he was 8 weeks old. He's purebred miniature pinscher. I got him from a breeder here in Minnesota, and they were about 3-hour drive away. And instead of driving it, I just rented the airplane when the fuel prices were cheap, and I flew out to an airport that was basically right by her farm. And she brought him out to the airport, and I had him 5 minutes, and he had his first airplane ride, and he did absolutely amazing on the airplane ride, that it got to the point where anytime I went flying, he would go with me, and if I had a bad day working out at the airport, I would call up and tell them, hey, I want to rent the airplane for the night, and they'd say, okay, we got the keys ready for you, and I would take him and ask him, hey, you want to go flying? And he'd get all excited, and he would do the walk around with me off leash. It's like the one time he can be off leash, because otherwise he goes searching really far away.
He likes to be in his own world a lot. You could have 20 different people who want to give him attention, and once he's said hi to all, he says goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go do what I want.
Yeah, and in the dog part, he goes off. If he's off leash anywhere else, he just goes, does his own thing. but he could be off leash and he'd do the airplane walk around inspection with me, and then I'd open up the door and he'd jump right in the back and sit down and lay, and he would just take a little sleep in the back of the airplane while we were flying. But he's getting very old now and he's not doing great. He hacks a lot and he's coughing a lot, so you guys probably hear him in the background, and he's kind of got like a big tumor on his belly that it's not really doing anything, it's just there. And so I feel bad for this little guy, and going to say massive shit. Yeah, no, well, you have had some big poops lately, because he's been holding his poops. So the other one barking right now, that is Gizzy. Let's see if we can get here. Gizzy, come here. Come here. Gizzy is now, what are you? You're going to be 8, aren't you? He is going to be 8 years old. And he's my Pomeranian. I got him when he was about a year old, and he was so badly abused by the family that had him before me that like now I called him over and he came over. The first year that I had him, he couldn't even be on the same side of the room as anyone else. If you were on one side and you got up, he'd go running to the other side. Didn't matter who you were. The only way he truly ever approached me is if I was laying under the bed covers. Then he'd kind of come up and I could pet him. It took him many years to do a lot of things. Like about a year and a half ago now, he finally comes up where he will actively present his belly. He would come up for rubs before, and after you kind of got petting on him, he'd slowly run to or roll to his back to get his belly. Now he'll come up and he's just like, pet my belly. But you still have to be sitting. He still kind of cowers. Like if you're standing and you walk up to him, he still kind of cowers down. And there's just a lot of things that we've worked hard on to get him to come around to. Sitting by us now a lot more. He likes to sit up on the back of the couch here, and that was never a thing.
Yeah, he'll like walk behind us.
Right.
He can never lead, except for if he's really, because he loves smelling things outside, and like dogs like doing that. Duh. No, he's like addicted. He'll forget about everything else in the world.
More so when the snow's on the ground lately.
Yeah, and but then when he does that, suddenly he'll forget about anyone else being behind him, and he'll like go wandering off. Because like even if he for a second notices that he's ahead of everyone, he like freaks out and skitters behind you. Yeah, it's really sad, but he's getting a little better, a little confident.
Tony, you're kind of right. He kind of looks like a long-haired Chihuahua, because when we got him, that family did not take care of him. He was like, you'd pet him and it felt like your hand had been in a sandbox all day because of the dirt that just dries out your hands. And he had burrs deep down in his fur that unfortunately we had to completely shave him down. And it got rid of that under fur that helps Pomeranians look really puffy. And so he doesn't have the typical big Pomeranian puff that he would have. But we do have a long-haired Chihuahua, and he got really big. Come here, Noki.
He's a little meaty, too.
Yeah, Noki. And he's being a little turd, and he's just like, no, I want to, like...
Noki.
Oh, that got him to come.
Oh.
So you just got to whine a little bit. And so Noki, the long-haired Chihuahua, he is 9 years old, and I've had him since he was 8 weeks. And he thinks I am his soulmate. Bailey thinks I'm his best friend, Noki thinks I'm his soulmate, and Gizzy thinks I'm his guardian angel. And Noki is the biggest baby around. He did not want to be held in anyone's arms when he was a puppy, but now he just wants to be on your lap, in your face, in your arms, and you can pretty much do anything and everything with him. Let's see. You could put him on his back, and I always, well, of course now he's on camera, so you don't want to do it. I can hold him on his back and hold him up, and I always call him a nugget. So I'm like, who's gonna eat you? And
little grump.
Or you can hold him up like the Lion King, and he just kind of sits there. But yeah, he's grumpy now. And some of it is because Bailey's right here too. I say he is huge for a Chihuahua. He kept growing and growing and growing and growing. Yeah, he's grumpy at
Noki.
Bailey.
Hey.
I joke around and I say Gizzy and Noki are racist because Bailey's black, and those two always hang out with each other and they always pick on Bailey. So I always feel bad for Bailey, but it's just a little inside joke. They're not racist.
It's just an inside joke between you
Right.
and the dog.
And everyone else. So now that Bailey's gone, I don't know. Let's see. I always imagine if humans were like that, first thing you would do is sniff your desired crotch.
There's videos for that.
Right? I don't know if Surf is still here. You could talk to him about that. Not kink shaming. Oh, you are still there. Big Lebowski. Have I seen that movie? What is that? What's Big Lebowski again? Because when I see they go, Gosh, Heckfire says, when I see a Pomeranian, I always think of the movie The Big Lebowski. And if I've seen it, it was a long time ago. I have not seen any, like, recent movies in, like, 10 years. Except for, like, maybe 2 that we've seen. Yeah, it's much older. What was the last movie we went and saw?
Like in a theater?
Yeah.
We saw it was that one that Jordan Peele directed.
Oh,
Us?
yeah, I think it is Us. That one was.
That was
weird.
Good.
Yeah.
I was so into it.
Jordan Peele's movies. I'm digging his movies.
Which I can't wait for the reboot of Candyman, which he produced. He didn't direct it. The writer's a woman. I can't remember her name right now, but he helped like make it. I'm excited for that.
Okay, it's a Coen Brothers film. He says. I know I've heard it. But that was probably that's the last one I've seen. But I never got into a lot of movies growing up. I was always outside doing things, and also I don't know actors or actresses' names. I mean, like, I'll know them to a degree, but like if you say Tom Cruise, like, the first thing that comes to my mind is Top Gun and Weird Scientologist. But like other actors and actresses, I don't know very well. Come on, Bailey, come here. But I do like scary movies. I don't like movies like Saw. Like, for me, I hate knowing that someone thought that shit up. That scares me more than the movie itself. Like, someone thought this shit in their head and decided, hey, let's play it out in a movie. That freaks me out. But like, other scary movies, I was kind of into the Paranormal Activity movies. What other, like, scary? We watched As Above, So Below.
Oh, I like that.
That one is good. I like the As Above, So Below. Or
I like a little mythology being like played out, but like you get to experience it in a way, and like the whole trials and labors of hell and stuff like that.
Right.
That's fun. Not really religious, but it's fun.
Oh, The Big Lebowski with John Goodman. Is he the one who... That's the one where...
He's a good man?
No, he keeps saying someone's name on their bowling or something, or tells them to shut up, and I think someone used it in one of their debunk videos one time, and it was hilarious. Let's see...
I like a good B-rated horror movie. Like, just real crappy.
Yeah.
Like, there's this one, it's very, like, it's extraordinary B-rated. It's called, Blood Diner, and I think it was made in the 80s. It is the cheesiest, campiest thing in the world. It's so corny, bad graphics and everything. I loved it.
Alright, Alien's gonna dip out for a bit, so we'll see you in a bit, Alien.
Goodbye.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie. Yes. Okay, so now I know I don't know if I've seen it all. We used to watch a lot of movies at the airport where I worked, because you'd be busy for an hour and then you'd be down for an hour, busy for an hour, so we'd watch movies, and there's times I only got to watch bits and pieces. of a lot of movies and Shut the Fuck Up Donnie yet because of Donald Trump and everything like that. And so yeah,
okay.
it's funny.
I know Bob's Burgers. They make a lot of references to the Big Lebowski.
Ooh, which Big Mouth. Y'all watch Big Mouth out there?
So
He got me into it. That show is fucking hilarious.
it's so bizarre, but so relatable. Like the whole time you sit there, and you're like, "This is awful," but that's me right there.
Right? It's like everything growing up. If you like from a kid, which was like, 30 years ago for me. Well, 25 years ago. It's just like those memories come back where it's like I laugh at it now, but it's like, yeah, I was that kid because I didn't go through puberty until much later, so I was that kid who was picked on for being small all the time in that show, and
it just reminds you how awful kids are.
Yeah, exactly, and all those like random drama that goes on between them that like is so unnecessary for no reason, which still happens in a lot of adults' lives, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he got me into Big Mouth, and
What?
wow, it's hilarious. And Bob's Burgers, that's one of my favorites too. And if you guys didn't know, the designer for Bob's Burgers, he passed away in a skydiving incident. He was an avid skydiver. I don't know what happened. I don't know what, if he had a malfunction or what was going on there. Usually you don't hear much from it because it's a rare thing that, kind of like airplanes crashing, it's rare that a skydiving incident happens, and usually when they do, it's because human error or you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing.
Well, it's something you don't talk about a lot because it's such an extreme, like considered very extreme sport that like one little thing goes wrong and suddenly everyone's like, "Did you know? It's dangerous."
Yep.
It's like a lot of things are dangerous.
So, I can't wait until I get my better computer built because I would like to have people come on and be part of the live stream and just hang out and chat and get to know other people talking, or then that way I can also have a capture card to put on like what Chayse is playing, because usually he's playing a game during this, and I'm not a gamer. He's the gamer out of the two of us. And the two games you like the most right now?
Final Fantasy and Bayonetta.
Final Fantasy what though?
Final Fantasy X Remastered Edition.
Because I said Final Fantasy X and I didn't say the remastered before, and I got yelled at.
It matters, and anyone who cares knows it's true.
Because in that way we could have what he's playing on the screen, and then we can make us smaller in the upper corner or something. But yes, Bob Burgers is pretty much an everyday thing here, whether it be at the end of the way wind down or while we're making dinner or something. Bob's Burgers is pretty much on, and pretty much seen every episode. And speaking of Jordan Peele, like rich people money.
Oh my god.
We gotta get those rich people money.
With Fanny.
Yeah. Who's that knocking on our door? Ooh, it's Mr. Dance Floor. Things are about to get dancy. Or fancy?
About to get fancy.
Fancy.
Something will get dancy. Oh,
so we'll get dancy, yeah. You were drowning. Don't drown. He's playing Minecraft right now. I'm
building a house.
I was mixed on the fan art episode. That's what Gosh the Heck Fire says. It threw me off so much, and there was some of the art that I didn't like, being blunt. I liked the concept of the episode, the whole, or I should say the story of the episode I liked. The fan art, it's cool that people did all that stuff, but it just threw me off so much.
See, I love that stuff only because, I love seeing, how people interpret things from, their own, art form. Which, some of it, necessarily doesn't fit all aesthetic of, the thing, but at the same time, I love that stuff. That's why for, drag queens, for me, I love seeing fan work of what drag queens look like because, Bob's Burgers, it's a cartoon, there's no real-life comparison, and same with drag queens, we're cartoon characters.
Yeah, you are.
And so it's fun when people do artwork because you're like, oh, that's how they look, and that's how they look. Oh, those kind of dimensions. I think it's so fun. I love it.
So, I had a Commodore 64 too, Mark. So that's how I remember playing computer games. And then Tony says his favorite cartoon is Regular Show.
Oh my god,
I don't know what the Regular Show is.
I have watched very few episodes of it, but it's bizarre, and I love it because I think it's a kid's show, but it's not really a kid's show. There's a lot of shows like that though that like Cartoon Network would do, where like they were like kids shows, but they are so dark and out there that you're like, what am I actually watching right now? Like Invader Zim, there's things like Misadventures of Flapjack, Adventure Time. They're geared towards teens, but they're even weirder and more random and kind of creepy. And Regular Show gets weird. That's all I remember.
And then followed by Amazing World of Gumball. Do you know that one?
The Amazing World of Gumball? I don't think so.
Okay, so I'll have to watch Regular Show because they're suggesting that, and then for me, like, what's weird and out there would be like Rick and Morty. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the how Rick and Morty started. If you go on YouTube, they're not exactly called Rick and Morty, but it was before they actually had a show, and it is weird. Basically, I think it's like Dr. Rick and Morty or something like that, and Morty is supposed to basically suck something out of Rick's penis in order for them to like survive something. It's
they go beyond.
Yeah, and that's kind of how they got their kickoff, was from that YouTube thing. So Flapjack. Have you ever heard of Flapjack?
Flapjack. That is a disturbing and weird one, because the animation they go from anything that's really light and kitty to this grotesque, disgusting, texturized. It's gross. It's really gross. Like you'll like see a picture of like someone who has a wart, and then they make like a close-up artwork piece of it, and it has like a face, a mouth. It's heavily like granulated.
That reminds me of like
think of like Ren and Stimpy, but if they made it into like they took like random like things and like gave you zoom-ins on them.
Right, or what was that? God, I'm so bad with names. But Nicola has it correct. Doc and Morty is what it's called. Drawn together. Like when they had the character that's like Betty Boop, where all of a sudden they'd zoom in and it would be just super disgusting on her face and stuff.
That's exactly what they do. It's stuff like that, and it's horrifying.
Yeah. So Dark Steve says we have to look up the Big Les show.
The Big Les.
I know, right? I'm kind of curious because Les.
Is this a trap?
Right, it's Dark Steve. It's probably a trap. He said he could probably stream it later, so maybe we could watch that if we're going to Discord. And Ren and Stimpy, ever was the first series of Ren and Stimpy. They Ren and Stimpy, like you go back and you watch those as an adult, and you're like, how the hell was this ever put on the air? And it's Nickelodeon, so nonetheless. Weird. That is just, it is more than weird. I used to love Rocko's Modern Life on Nickelodeon.
That one was good. That one
and,
also got
and Heifer
really
and whatnot, and then their dog Spunky always dragging his ass on the ground and stuff like that. Like Nickelodeon had some very, very bizarre cartoons.
Well, there's like there's a meme around that it's like of like Nick, like teen, like in the 90s, and this girl's like, wasn't that an amazing episode of this? It was so great, I almost want to kill myself, but Nickelodeon has me on suicide watch. Anyways, here's the next episode. And that was like a commercial break.
Wow. Oh, yeah. What's her name who was on All That?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As Nickelodeon really went all out.
Whereas, like, there's that episode where Ren is supposed to be, or is it Stimpy that's supposed to be sawing something, and he's like, it's like on his hips, and it looks like he's.
Oh yeah, it looks like he's humping
something, and it's just.
Well, there's like an episode where like they're in jail, and I think it's like the writer or like the illustrator for like the show is in jail, and he's like super old, and literally like it's him. You're watching him like fall apart, and it's like really gross, and because like it's like. His arm comes off at one point, and it's like slime bleeding from the arm, and like one of his ears is like sliding down.
Lovely.
And they like they take Ren's to be and like shove him in the pants. Like it's so weird.
So Surf reminded me of one, Heifer and the Milking Machine from Rocco's Modern Life, and it was, oh yeah. But everyone's thrown out so many things. They got, let's see, mainly the Trippa Snipper or Snipper, Trippa Snipper. I don't know if that's a show. People are laughing at Drawn Together. Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh, I don't
remember that one.
Dog. It's really weird. It plays a lot off of occult classics, old folk tales, and kind of tells it in that. But it's literally like an old lady and an old man living in the middle of nowhere as they stay in there with their dog named Courage, who's like he's like his cartoon anomaly. But like weird things happen. Like there's a plan for Bates Motel with this character called Cats. Okay. And in Cats is like he's like this sensual feline man, and he has like theme music, and he tries killing everyone with spiders. And like Courage gets like left out on the porch, and he's chained to it because he's a cat and he hates dogs. And there are these giant spiders that are like gross and colorful, and they are going to like eat everyone. And Courage has to save everyone.
Wow.
Because everyone in the show is also kind of just idiots. Courage is the only one who like sees everything for what it is.
Oh my god. Yeah, this is like, there are like so many cartoon nerds in here. So there's some cartoons that, the ones that I got into a lot though was, if I was to say like my preteen years, I loved Tiny Toons and Animaniacs. Those were my go-to ones. And I want to say hello to Mippet. So hello to you for showing up. But Tiny Toons and Animaniacs were my go-to. I loved those ones, and I got into the band They Might Be Giants because of Tiny Toons. They had a music video episode, and so they played one of the songs, Constantinople, where it's Istanbul, it's Constantinople, now it's Istanbul, not Constantinople, been a long time gone. I got that song because of that, and then they did Universe Man, size of the entire universe, man. And so I ended up falling in love with They Might Be Giants because of Tiny Toons. And then Animaniacs, that was kind of another just weird, like, they got some dirty jokes in there, and like, oh, Wacko, it looks like the boo, got to go potty. You know what, Cheesemondo could probably do a really good voice of Wacko. I'm sure he could. Rugrats, that was another big one. That's for Mippet.
Rugrats
or
is good.
Her Kids. Her Kids is go-to.
Rugrats is good.
You hallucinated Maximilian from Tiny Toons laughing at you as he ran back and forth between the trees. Now that's creepy as hell.
What?
Maximilian was a character on Tiny Toons, and he was like an asshole, just an absolute asshole. And he was like the rich kid who just thought he could get away with like anything and everything. And he was, yeah. But then the other stuff too was like getting home from school was like Darkwing Duck and DuckTales and Chippendale Rescue Rangers. But then even further back, it was Smurfs and Gummy Bears and Fraggle Rock. What was another one I used to watch a lot? And Nick was like, he was a total dickbag. He was. Him and Elmira. Elmira was... She was like the one who liked animals and would like squeeze them to death.
Oh my god.
Jetsons. Yep, Jetsons was a huge one I watched. I didn't watch much of the Flintstones. I kind of...
See, I watched more Flintstones than the Jetsons, but I did watch the Jetsons.
Jetsons and Scooby-Doo. But I got sick of Scooby-Doo because, like, to me it was just the same shit all the time. And so then I got...
How dare...
I was more into... Then I was more into Three's Company. I don't know how my friend and I got into watching that, but I was like... I remember being, like, 7, 8 years old, and we'd go to his house, like... And we'd turn on Three's Company, and I thought it was just the greatest shit ever. And probably didn't know half the stuff, but because there's the laugh tracks, you laugh. Ha ha ha, it's funny. I love that Mr. Hurley coming up, and little did I know that I would turn into like. Well, he's not gay, but he was he wore a lot of weird shit.
What's he like? They were nodding. They said,
yeah.
You know what we're saying,
right.
just like in the original Batman and Robin.
Trapdoor. Do you know Trapdoor?
No.
I don't know Trapdoor either. Chayse is more, he's more the comic book, like, sci-fi movie person. I never really got into DC or Marvel. I never really got into, like anything as X-Men. I never...
Yeah, and that's, see, like, even for me, that's a little difficult, only because, like, I probably, like, enjoyed more, like, Marvel and some DC, because my dad and brother, but I got really into comics, but I don't know if anyone else has read them, but it's Dark Horse and the Image companies. My dad had a comic collection from them called Pit, who was like one of my favorite. He was like this like super like beefy alien man who was like on like a revenge pop. Like it was really cool. And there's a couple other characters I can't think of right now, but like he had a couple of collections like that.
Sorry, I'm laughing like
Real Monsters.
Real Monsters. I like that one too.
My sister used to collect the figurines.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's insane. I haven't watched that one in ages either.
Batman the animated series.
See, you're
one of the best.
Yeah, that's you. And Widget and the World Watcher. I had to quick Google that when you were talking, and I don't really remember that one too much. But yeah, 5th grade, like everyone was playing X-Men and all that other stuff. They were super huge into it, and I didn't get into it.
I love it. Well, I like the X-Men world, but like when I started, my brother started getting interested in like X-Men stuff. Like I'm trying to, that's when like I really started gaining an interest, and it was before the first X-Men movies came out. So strong opinions about certain characters too.
Right. I really want to say, Surf, you need to hear Chase's opinion on what he was hearing the other night about Dragon Ball Z.
Oh. Is he the one who likes GT?
Surf, are you the one who likes GT?
Because someone was saying how they're like, but GT has like a monkey in it. I was like, GT sucks.
I'm going to be honest. When everyone started talking about that, I just kind of tuned out because I'm not into that stuff. It just wasn't. So you had some words for it.
I grew up on Dragon Ball. And I like Dragon Ball Z. I don't like GT. GT was really dumb and made no sense. And like, I haven't because there's the newer one now which like has like God Sand and stuff like that. And it's not that I don't like. I just haven't kept track of that. But I went on to other anime, like later on in life.
So and then Nickel. I think I knew a little bit about this, and I'm sure you did too. He goes, fun fact, Stan Lee came up with the X-Men as a way to speak out about gays being treated like outcasts, even way back then. Stan the Man Lee, rest in peace.
Well, and that's like the whole thing that I actually, when I was like still younger, it was before I came out, but like that's why I really liked X-Men a lot, because they talked a lot about minorities and about segregation. They talked a ton about segregation. There was a character which like the writer for that character, she turns into a werewolf. She's like lycanthropy, but like she was used as a metaphor for like trans aggressions, like towards people, transphobic aggressions, and like he didn't do it the best way. Like there were some things and some flaws in the story plotting of it, but X-Men is used a lot to talk about segregation, biases, phobias are just ridiculous and unnecessary. So it's really cool.
Yeah.
Half the time I'm someone so radical that like when like Magneto was like, just kill him, I said, yeah, just get rid of them. We don't need those people. Yeah. Those non-mutants, get rid of them.
So Surf goes, no, I'm the one that keeps sarcastically saying that the live-action movie is good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, garbage. Garbage. It is as garbage as the live-action version of Avatar The Last Airbender. Sucks ass and shouldn't exist. And those people who are the directors from them should apologize to everyone. It's awful. It's a sham. They couldn't even give the girl who Like, they can even give a character full blue hair. They put a strip of blue in it. It's like, she had blue hair for a reason. Just give her blue hair. Wigs exist. I wear them all the time.
So, you mentioned, Last Airbender. So when, here in the cities we have Mall of America. We don't go to it because
it's a mall.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, it ends up just being a mall.
It's a mall. So when it first opened up, there's a theme park in the center of it. It's a big giant square. It's 4 stories, and I mean it is a huge mall. There's cool stuff to do there. If we live here, so for us now it's not exciting anymore. But for people who come, they come in and they enjoy it. But so it was. Knott's Camp Snoopy was originally in there, and then Nickelodeon took it over, and they had a ride in there that was Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I had never seen Avatar: The Last Airbender. I had only seen Avatar, the James Cameron movie, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep up a little bit with what people are saying.
Welcome back, Little Wolf.
Right, welcome back. So I was thinking, like, why does this? It's like Avatar's like the blue people, from the movie, and not. And so finally, last spring, when we were sitting around a lot, Chase had me watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, and so I got really into that, and that was actually really cool, and kind of talks, it does a lot with judgments of the world and different ethnicities and stuff like that. But I'm kind of glad I watched it, because then after that, it seemed like there were a shit ton of, like, Avatar references that all of a sudden started popping up everywhere, and I was like, at least now I get it. So that was a fun one to watch.
It's so good. Also, one of the few dying art that happens in animation where it's hand-painted backgrounds. That it's a big deal to me. That's why, that's for me, like, I loved, like, Scooby-Doo, the originals.
Right.
Because that hand-painted background.
I know, there's a lot of cartoons that have that stuff. That's awesome. And Surf has it on Google Drive, so you can sit through it if you want to watch.
I'm good at ignoring things in life.
You're good at ignoring
I'll ignore
things.
that the whole time.
Okay. This is Mippet says, I'm more into Disenchantment and Final Space at the moment.
Disenchantment's good. I haven't watched a ton of it, but I liked it. It was like, 'cause it was so weird because it's in like the animation style of like Futurama, but it's more serious in some ways, but also like more like different type of humor.
Okay.
So it threw me off because I was going in thinking Futurama, and it's not like that at all.
That was another one. I never was a big Simpsons or Futurama fan. I watched Simpsons, I think, when I was young because it was a cartoon on Sunday night, and it was considered like naughty to watch, even though it's.
I wasn't allowed to watch it.
Yeah.
I had never watched The Simpsons, so I don't really get references a lot when people do them.
Right. And yeah, my shirt's written backwards, and I thought I had a way to flip the camera. Oh wait, I might be able to flip it. Let's see.
Flip it.
Flip it. Plapialties. Flip horizontal. Now it's backwards for us, but it might be right for you guys. So choose to fly. I like how that was kind of a random like throw in there, of like we're all going off on cartoons. Futurama, there's episodes of Futurama I like, but it just didn't hit me. It didn't make me be like, yes, I love this. Like, it doesn't hit me like Bob's Burgers does. And it's like Family Guy. I liked Family Guy a little bit, but I'm just not into Family Guy anymore. I'd rather be watching the Bob's Burgers. And American Dad, at first I didn't like American Dad, but I liked that more than I like Family Guy.
Because what is his name? Seth MacFarlane? No.
Seth MacFarlane.
I get confused because also going back, there's a comic book series that I like, Spawn, and the guy who writes that, his last name is McFarlane, and his name's, I think, Todd McFarlane, and I get their names mixed up all the time because of the similarity. But I like, someone made a joke about Seth MacFarlane. They said, oh, the writing style of Seth MacFarlane is say 300 jokes in one, just for one to land.
Right.
And it gets old really fast for me.
I'm sorry, move that. Tony Regime asks, have we seen Gravity Falls?
Yes, that one is so good, because that also is a bizarre one. It looks like a little kiddie show, and it's so weird because it talks a lot about like cryptids, conspiracy theories, like the Illuminati, except the Illuminati is like an actual character eyeball being. But like, there's all sorts of weird things. I've also seen some pornographic fan fiction based on it that I was not trying to find, and it's weird. It's weird.
I haven't seen Gravity Falls. I think I've heard of it, and I think I remember wanting to watch something like that one time. And everyone keeps saying that my shirt is flipped. So did I flip? Oh, you know what? I flipped it on the wrong thing. So let's do transition. Oh, look at that. See, now it's weird because I feel like when we're looking at it, I'm on the wrong side of Chayse.
But do you know what happens now when I look at myself, I look like I'm more looking at the video. At the camera, where I'm making.
Family Guy can still be funny to me. I won't lie, but sometimes I'm just like, what the fuck is this shit, says Nickel. And that's where I'm at. There's times it's funny. Like, there's an episode where Stewie and Brian get caught in the vault at the bank. And so it's just them doing the thing the whole entire time. There's a few scenes that are not aired on television, and if you watch it through Hulu, then you'll see it. Like, there's a point where, on TV, Brian eats the shit out of Stewie's diaper, but then right after that, Stewie's like, well, we're not fully done. Another spot has to be clean, basically saying, come lick my ass. And Brian does it, and you don't see that on the TV one. So that, to me, like, I find that absolutely hilarious, and it would have been better if it could have been aired on TV, but then there's others where I'm just like, no. Sir says Rule 34, Chayse.
I don't know that one.
You don't know that one. See, like I said, you're gonna be the good one for all this stuff, and
also there's a weird time in my younger days, which went so far long ago. I didn't watch TV for like years, and so there's I was talking to my coworker about this. So there's like a set of like cartoons, TV shows, and movies that I don't get because I didn't pay attention to TV at all. I genuinely would either just play video games or I'd be outside or something else. So like there's like people who make references to things. I'm like, that must have came out during that time because I don't get it at all.
Yeah, I was just outside constantly. I was either up in a tree, which is weird because I'm so afraid of heights. But a tree, I don't know. A tree, I would go, try to get as high as I possibly could. Had to climb a tree this past summer because we lost a rocket in a tree, and so I got to not only relive my childhood by launching rockets again, but got to relive my childhood by climbing to the top of a tree to get a rocket down. And so tomorrow a video comes out where I'm talking about my drone stuff, and there's a scene in the drone video that's in the video about drones tomorrow, and the drone's flying over this field, and at the middle of the field there's a tree. And this is the field that we'd launched our rockets on. It's like the only tree in the field, in this big ass field, and that's where the rocket happened to land.
I think that was really becoming like the downfall bad luck spiral we were having.
Yeah, because there was a while where we started having all sorts of other things happening as far as that stuff goes. Because then we lost a nose cone.
Still don't know where it is.
Yeah, still don't, and that's got the altimeter attached to it.
Literally, one of your smaller rockets, the nose cone, like the rest of it detached from the nose cone.
Yeah.
And the nose cone is what was attached to the parachute.
That's right.
And it just went away because it was so tiny and so light and it was so windy. It was going for miles. And
yeah,
like, okay.
Like you just see the nose cone and the parachute like going super far away. In fact, hold on. I got it. We were able to recover the body, but we lost the nose cone.
The body.
So I had to buy a nose cone separately again, and I still got to get a parachute on it, and I haven't painted it obviously. But this was the one this one flies awesome, and we lost it. The nose cone went drifting off into. I swear to God, it went off into the next state.
Oh yeah, it was really disappointing and kind of just. It's just heartbreaking.
Yeah. And to answer your question, gosh of heckfire, yes, I'm deathly afraid of heights. That's actually how I got into skydiving. I wanted to face my fear on my 36th birthday, and kind of like the interview, I think with Alien X, I think I said it in there. I got down on the ground and I was sick. I was nauseated from it, and I thought I was done. But I came home and I watched the video, and I was like, how do people even get into becoming an instructor and stuff like that? So I looked up, and because of working at airports my entire life, I was like, I wonder if they need a part-time worker. So I went out there and I started working for jump tickets, and that's how I got into it. And it, like I said, once you get up so high, it all starts to look the same, and you don't realize it. Plus, you don't have like you don't have like a building that you're looking down to kind of give you a perspective. And there's so much safety that goes into skydiving. Like, I would trust skydiving over zip lining or bungee jumping any day. So yeah. And let's see. Mabel in Gravity Falls is voiced by Kristen Shaw, who voiced Louise in Bob's Burgers and was in Fight of the Conchords.
Also, that actress is so funny
I
and crazy.
love her, I know.
Does it hurt her husband have a Kama Sutra book? Like, I think they wrote one.
I
Like,
don't know.
she's wacky. She's really weird, and I love her.
What is the... So Mipit goes, what is the top of each of our bucket lists? Or are you like me and have... Or are you like me and I have a fuck it list? I snorted. I snorted. Yeah, I'm 40.
I'm 40.
I'm 40. I'm 40 years old. I'm 40. I like to kick,
He's
stretch,
dying
and kick.
tomorrow.
I am.
Oh, yeah, no. Mary and I do that all the time at work. Mary's my boss at work.
Sally O'Malley and
I'm
Eddie.
50, and I like to kick and stretch.
Yeah, kick, stretch, and kick.
I'm 50.
My bucket list. I would honestly, like, the thing that I've wanted to do for so long, and I'm not pandering to you, Mippet, and I definitely wouldn't be pandering to Dark Steve. I've always wanted to go to Australia. Like, that has... No other place in the world has struck me as a place to want to go, but Australia, that is on my bucket list. That's one place, like, is a must-have before I pass. I want to go there so bad. And I think it would be fun to do skydives there. I mean, I want to do skydives in a bunch of different places. My next place that I'd want to go to is it Machu Picchu? Is that the big city on the big high up place down in South America?
In
Peru. I think that's the next place that I'd want to go. That would be my bucket list for things. I would like to get back into flying again. I miss flying airplanes. To maybe get my commercial rating at some point, but not a commercial rating to be like an airline pilot, but to maybe be like a jump pilot, where, fly the airplane for people to skydive out of or something like that. But that'd be cool. How about you?
It's not like it's very. I want to travel more in general.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't traveled a lot in life. I think I've been to South Dakota, North Dakota, Wyoming, California, and Colorado, and I drove through several states, but I've been to Florida.
Yeah.
And I have such. I would. And anyone can say whatever they want, but like growing up in the Midwest, small town Midwest, you don't get to know a lot about other things,
Right.
especially being poor. You don't get to experience a whole lot. So like, to me, I have such a cartoon brain that a lot of states to me, I can't picture them except as a cartoon. Like, I picture Texas literally as a desert with skyscrapers in it.
Yeah.
And like a buffalo skull out
He
there.
thought North Dakota was a paradox, which it kind of is.
Like, I was reading about it, and people claim that there's a conspiracy theory that North Dakota doesn't actually exist. And that's so funny to me.
That's weird. It's
And I want to eat a lot of food of varying types. I want authentic cuisines. I just want to eat a lot of food.
I'm a picky eater, so that'd be all him.
I'm a pig. Put it into my trough.
Oink, oink, motherfuckers.
And I'll eat it.
I'll eat the pig. Whoa, wait. That's probably...
Yeah.
Yeah. That came out of my mouth faster than what I was saying. Little Wolf Goes Florida is not a thing to brag about. I haven't been to a lot of the eastern states. I've landed in Georgia on my way to Florida, and so I've been to Orlando, and then we drove out to Tampa. Went to Arizona to visit parents and did some skydives out there at 3 different drop zones. Been to California. We did a road trip when we were young from North Dakota to California, so we my dad was weird. He was the type of person who, like, you're on a road trip, you go. And so, like, we drove past the Grand Tetons. We drove through Yellowstone. So, like, we never stopped to look at Old Faithful. We stopped to look at a mud volcano. So, yay for stopping and smelling fucking sulfur, like, let's stop and smell the shit smell. Like, yay. And when we were out in California, like, we went to Disneyland for like 3 hours, and that was it. And we were out there like for a week, and I still haven't seen an ocean. Like, if it was in Florida, we went to Tampa, and that's the Gulf of Mexico. I don't say that's an ocean. So it's a big body of water, and to me, it's no different than saying, well, I've seen Lake Superior because I've been up to Duluth. We were out in California for a week, and I never saw the ocean. And we saw Hoover Dam and stuff, and then I've been up into Canada, up by where Punchy lives, around that area, and we've done some things up there, but that's about it.
Yeah, see, like, when I went to, like, California with my roommate, we literally just got a Airbnb somewhere, which is, like, in the middle of downtown LA, and we just chose to walk everywhere and anywhere. Mm-hmm. Like, we walked 10 miles through Koreatown to get to, like, I can't remember where we went to. But, it was just, like, we were just like, well, let's start walking. Like, and I'm not someone, I like doing the touristy things for, like, 5 minutes so I can go see it, because it's cool. Mm-hmm. I don't really want to go do it again. Like, I went to Hollywood Boulevard, and for me, I'm not bothered by the huge crowd of it. But, right. Like, the rest of it, I didn't care. I went and met a wig maker, and I talked to her for a while, because she had amazing wigs. Her name is Laura Gustav. After it, though, I just didn't care, and it's like, I want to go anywhere else, because I want to go see what, like, actual people go do in their day. I don't want to go see what every other tourist does. I want to go live it.
Yeah, that's like Chicago. So I've been to Chicago 3 different times. High school, and then he's got to go do O'Reilly, so he's going to step away for a bit. Not that kind of O'Reilly.
I know, but that's like...
Been out to Chicago 3 times, high school, and then spring break during college, and went to a bunch of different, like, museums and stuff out there. And then when I was out there for iFly training, I was out there for 3 months, and one time I just walked downtown Chicago in the middle of October and went up to the top of the John Hancock Center. I think it's got a different name now. Went to the top of that, and then just walked around different spots in downtown, and it's really kind of cool to see. But there was something earlier that when I was showing the dogs, and I said I had to shave Gizzy all the way down. I don't know how well this is going to show up on camera, and it's on my phone. So, but this was Gizzy when we had him shaved all the way down. There we go, a poor little guy, and then we put Yoda ears on. It's such a cute video or photo. There's another one. When poor little guy, when we had to shave him way down and get rid of all his fur because of all the burrs that were in his fur and stuff like that. So, and then I'm trying to think of other cities I've been to. Like, we had a family reunion in St. Louis, and we didn't really do anything there. I remember that was the first time I saw a hummingbird.
Aww.
I got excited about that.
That is exciting. Hummingbirds are awesome.
Yeah. If you haven't seen a hummingbird moth,
oh,
they're beautiful. There was One summer I stepped out back with the dogs and like I thought it was a hummingbird, but I'm like, it doesn't look like a hummingbird, but it looks like a hummingbird. And so I was like, moth, that looks like hummingbird. And it said, I know, because I didn't think there was a hummingbird.
I would do the same
so
thing.
that's how I Googled it, and all of a sudden it
way.
popped up, hummingbird moth, and I did not know there was a thing, and they're absolutely beautiful, and it's crazy.
I would like to go back out to Devil's Tower. I like that place.
Yeah. I do like Devil's Tower. Little Devil's Tower in South Dakota is nice. All these people who aren't from the U.S., they're like, what the hell are you talking about?
It's where the devil is.
Yeah.
It's in America.
Oh, no. Devil's Tower is a super petrified massive tree. I think that's what some of those... I don't know if it's the flat earthers but some of those weird earther people think they are.
Just as real as the story of how it came to about the giant bear that chased the sisters up the hillside.
Yeah.
And create the claw marks.
Right, and create the claw marks on the side.
Which is a cooler story than what they could come up with any day of the week.
Yeah.
Those flurfers.
Flurfers. Damn flurfers. And thank you, Nickel. It was sad seeing him go through it. And like I said, every year that goes by, there's something that I notice he changes that he's never done before. That's just really cute. I'm trying. I can get him now to finally sit when I give him a treat, but now I'm trying to get him to shake when I give him a treat. And he's still too, I think, like skittish and shy and doesn't know what's going on that he won't. But I'm getting Noki to stand up on his hind legs like a circus dog. And now he's getting way too good at it because anytime we're in the kitchen and we're walking out, if our hand's hanging down, all of a sudden he's standing up on his hind legs trying to sniff. And maybe I was wearing a "Not Today, Satan" t-shirt. Or that was yesterday. I love that. That was great. So we talked a lot about cartoons and stuff. We talked about a lot of different things. We talked about skydiving. We kind of talked, I think, in the 15 minutes before when we thought we were streaming about what you do for work, or did we talk about it when we actually were streaming? Oh no, we did. We did. And then if anyone who doesn't know, who's new here, Chayse is a part-time drag queen. And so we might do a talk on that one day, and I'm going to actually have him put me up in drag so I can do a Cookie McSweet Tits for one of Slim Living Cyborg's videos, because Chayse has this like hilarious wig, and we're going to order some of the glasses, and I'm going to do a skit of Cookie McSweet Tits. And I'm going to say, like, basically, like, oh my god, I finally get to get that on camera because I'm here at my nephew Tana's place. It's so great. And then try to do a little video for him to have out at one point. And then maybe one night on a live stream, we can have Chayse put drag makeup on me for you guys. If I were to ever do drag, my drag name would be Clitoris. So it'd be Clitoris would be my drag name. And that's what I would do. Gonna hit up all the Aussies I know on Discord too soon. So I must have missed some of the stuff. Willis Tower. Yeah, Willis Tower, I went to the top of that in high school. You probably know it as Sears Tower. It's Willis Tower now.
Oh.
The really, really tall one in Chicago.
Oh, I don't know much about Chicago.
Okay. Yeah, I went to the top of that in high school, and then spring break college. But I would also like to, I kind of was talking about it in the first 15 minutes that we thought we were streaming, but I'm getting my computer built right now. I got the tower for it, and tomorrow I get the motherboard and processor. Once I get it built, I'm hoping that we can start having people join us in this and kind of have like fun little talks or random get-togethers, or kind of do like what Alien X is doing where it's interviews, but I don't want to take that from him, and I don't like, but it would still be kind of like fun hangout where we just get to know one another, you know, or just shoot the shit and just have a random conversation. And then if anyone's curious on what I am building, I have a 750 power supply, Gold Plus something or other in there. And I'm going to have a gigabyte or gigabit, whatever, I forget how to say it, RS Pro X570 motherboard. I am going to have a Ryzen 9 3900 in there. And I don't know what I'm going to do for a graphics card right now. Probably not go too expensive because I don't game on it. Chase is the gamer and he doesn't really computer game. I don't know.
I could like not get into them. I like simpler controllers. But they're yeah. There's not something I've ever like looked into much.
Well, I think they have controllers for computers, right?
They do. Like my ex stepdad, he was a big computer gamer. But like, me and technology, I have an aversion to technology. It terrifies me.
Yeah.
It's horrifying.
It's, well, like, if you start, it'd be no different than doing, like, the PlayStation. You don't have to worry about it. You just click on it and go.
I know, but, like, you even showing me how to beam my phone onto the TV was terrifying.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
What are we supposed to... Oh, show it? Here, hold on.
Show it. Model it.
Model
Sell it.
Yeah, because it's not all put together. Obviously, like I said, graphics card, I gotta figure out what I want. I'm not gonna do gaming, so I'm more focused on producing videos and wanting to do the live streams. So let's see here. Let me take the side. Well, first off, ta-da! I don't know if it's all on there. You're gonna just get a big reflection of this ring light on there. And it's not plugged into anything. Well, here, I guess I could move the camera too a little bit, but I'm going to get the sides off so you can peek in there. I obviously, because I don't have the motherboard or processor till tomorrow, so none of that stuff's in there yet. And I got a question for you guys, because I haven't built a computer in so long. If I don't have a graphics processor yet, or a graphics card yet, will the motherboard still put out, like if I was to just run Windows or something, because the motherboard has an HDMI out on it, so will it still display something that's just not going to be high quality? Let me know that, because I know nothing on that. Basically, here's the insides, here's the guts. I got the radiator up top with, and have the processor, water, cooling, and all the fans are LED'd. It's going to have the rainbow lighting on it, and it's got 3 fans in the front. I got to figure out where to go. And like I said, I probably could have moved the camera around to show this better. So, yeah, it's my case that I got so far, and it's going to be a gay case, because it's going to have a bunch of rainbow in it. And Tony Regime says you can buy a Xbox controller for it if you want the game on there. I don't know if you know much on Xbox.
I do. I used to play one all the time.
And it sounds like they're saying yes, that I could probably still display it onto the TV. If the motherboard has HDMI out, then it has integrated GPU. Okay, good. It does have an HDMI on it, and so then that way maybe I can kind of do some stuff with it. Because right now, to produce on this laptop, it's just like a Pentium R processor on here, and it's just it sucks. And I was getting so frustrated trying to produce a video last night. Which processors you get and its usage will depend on if you need a graphics card. Yeah, like I said, I'm getting a Ryzen 9 3900X is what I'm getting. And I'm going to have 32 gigs of DDR4 3200 megahertz RAM, I think is what it is. I got the box sitting somewhere. So I have the RAM already for it, so I wanted to make sure to at least have a good processor and good RAM in there, and then graphics card I'll have to think about later down the road. Maybe it goes I have a hate relationship with most technology. I call being technologically challenged. And then she says, I've had flames coming out of a washing machine before. So, yeah, I'm not going to ask you for help with anything. So that's good that I could, because then, like I said, then at least maybe we can stream from this or have people come on. I would imagine that it's going to be better than the laptop even without a graphics card in there, but probably go with something small and cheap first. Or I definitely don't want to go on the 3000 series for graphics cards. Probably, the 2000 series, which you won't know on it. But I even thought about as doing something like I think it was like a 1030. I think I was looking at just to get something in there. Because anything would be better than what the laptop is right now. So it'll be. I'm excited. I haven't built a computer in so long, so I was like a little kid last night when I got home with the case.
You
and
really were. You were on the floor, and like at first you're like, I'm just gonna look at them. I just want to look at them, and soon you're like, I'm gonna just put it in here. I'm gonna connect this.
Next, I started connecting it all, and
it's like you're really enjoying yourself.
I was loving every minute of it. It's no different than me with Legos or with the model rockets and stuff like that, and the computer case that I used to have. Like, it's the computer case I have already that's got a bunch of stuff in it. It's much bigger than this case. And the reason why I got a whole new one is because technology, one, has changed as far as how the fans and everything's connected up and whatnot, and it's a huge damn case. And that's because you used to have like, I think like the DVD ROM, I had the CD reader writer ROM, and because back then, like, the DVD writer, you could get a CD writer that was a DVD player, but then it didn't read write very fast. And then I had like the SD card reader thing, and then I had 2 hard drives in there, and I was laughing because I bought a 500 gigabyte M.2 hard drive for my motherboard, and I think I paid like I paid $70 for it. And then I have like this big ass chunky like 250 gig hard drive that used to be in my old computer, just massive as hell. And it's funny, it's just like the size difference and now the price difference too, because that hard drive I think I paid a buttload for. I probably actually have a good graphics card inside the computer I already have built. It would be 10 years old, but it would probably still be good. But I think it may have gotten ruined because I water cooled, and so when we were moving around, I think some of the water leaked out, and it might have gotten onto the GPU. Now it was distilled water, but then you had the coolant that got poured into the distilled water, and so I don't know if that would screw it up. So, but yeah, I do plan on getting. Well, the motherboard, GeoSam, the motherboard has an HDMI out, so there might be integrated on the motherboard. And Surf, I said I'm going to have 32 gigs of the DDR4 3200 megahertz RAM in there. And let's see what else. So Dark Sue says GeoSam is right that I know the processor doesn't have integrated graphics, but the motherboard might, right? I know there's a buttload of phrasing in there. So let's see. Both the Ryzen 3900X and the 3950X are X series processors, meaning they don't have an integrated graphical processing unit. But the motherboard might, right? Is that what I'm getting? Press a button and it turns on. It's the only text she does. Good. Mippet, that's all you really need to know. That's all you need to care about. And that's why Chase got really quiet too. Because he don't know much on it, but that's alright, because I'll do all the building of it. I'm just excited because I used to love this shit. I just don't remember it being this expensive, and a lot of things have changed since then. But I'm not gonna go with, like I said, I'm not gonna go with a 3000 series graphics card. I'm gonna go something lower. I don't need that. Oh, little boy, you coming to join? You want to say hi to everyone? Come here. What?
He left my lap. He's keeping me warm.
Oh. So, Oh, so the processor needs to have it too. Okay. Well, we'll find out. So it might be. Oh, I got right in my mouth. So it might be a while then before it's actually up and running. And then to answer, I'm jumping back and forth to answer someone's question from before. Would I shave my face for doing the drag? It depends if Chase wants to do a bearded drag look on me, or if I've trimmed it down before. I don't like fully shaving one. I feel like I just look too young, and I'm done with my younger years. I'm over that. And then I also break out because I don't really ever shave. I break out in all those little tiny little white zits, and I don't like that. So
I like bearded drag, but I would have you shave.
yeah.
Granted, I would love to get like a lace front stash. I would love that.
A lace front stash.
Yeah, mustache.
You know what you could do for a mustache? Just grow it out.
No. Because
Yeah,
also
lace front.
this ain't gonna give me anything. There's no problems up there.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm gonna look like some puberty, like pubescent 13-year-old boy.
Well, hello, Jerry. Welcome to the group. Jerry is a good close friend of mine who was helping me out with that video of what how a parachute deploys on a rig, and yeah, that's gonna probably go into the blooper reel. So Jerry's gonna be helping me out either Friday or Saturday evening. We're gonna go to iFly because we're gonna have a lot more space in there and be able to create the video for that. And then I got to figure out when I want to have that one come out, whether it be next week or the week after, because everyone's been waiting on that time-lapse video of making the rocket. So hello to Jerry. You have to get into the spirit of drag. I know,
Yeah. No pain, no gain. At least you're not putting on tights and you're not cinching the waist.
Right.
The wig's comfortable too.
I could always just trim it down really, really, really short.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
I guess depending on the lighting.
Yeah. So we'll see, but maybe we could do a stream where he's doing my makeup and then we all have a little chit chat and then you guys can point and laugh at how terrible I look in drag.
Like the queens would say, the heaven of Kiki.
Kiki, oh my god. And Steve, Fo I think is 25 too, and Chase is 25. So I don't know who was born first.
Well, what's his birthday? Does anyone know? Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. Will I tuck? No. We'll leave that to him. I will not tuck.
It's not that bad. Once you get past the taping part.
I won't tape, I'm sorry. Just wearing the skydiving rig, sometimes you choke up the goodies downstairs because you gotta put those. Jerry will contest to it. When you put those leg straps on, and you did it with the tandem, when you put those leg straps on and you tighten them down, woo, your voice goes an octave up a little bit. And maybe it goes all the way, or it's the only way. I haven't been put in full costume yet. I've only been put in makeup and wig.
I would have pads for your size.
Great.
Well, because my pads are huge, so
yeah. So,
it'd work. It'd make you proportional.
Oh my god. Tony Regime asks, Chase should have a pencil mustache like Clark Gable in Gone with the Wind.
No. No.
Why?
Pass.
Why?
Hard pass. No, thank you. I want a full handlebar.
She sometime. Full handlebar,
thick too.
Like how Irish Demon was trying to do his. And
like that, except I want no upper lip almost.
yeah, no upper lip. Jerry he does agree with the leg straps and tape. I haven't done the tape, and then Gosh of Heckfire says accidental tuckage. Yeah, if your twigs and berries aren't in the right place when you go to strap down those leg straps, there's accidental tuckage in there, and it also depends on what underwear you're wearing.
So just wear the right underwear.
I definitely I don't wear boxers for it. You know, that's
Who's
I like
wearing boxers?
I like to have everything like packaged neatly for when I do my skydives, because again, seeing some of those videos of things bouncing back and forth, and I'm not saying that like it's going to in your pants, but you're already strapping everything down, you might as well be wearing something that's supporting the boys. Just gave me a handy link in PC gaming on our Discord. Okay, I'll look that up.
Handy link, wink wink.
And then Mark Short hates shaving but gets in trouble when he gets it too long. And mine just looks like pubes when they start to grow in really thick, and I hate it. So I usually keep it this length, or I trim it down to just where it's stubble. So like I'll probably trim it soon here and get rid of it.
Yeah, I love being shaved. If I could have like the hair from like this down just disappear, it'd be great. I'd be happy.
We got him a hair laser removal thing for Christmas, where we have the laser gun, so it's just taking the time to do it.
We forget.
Yeah, we always forget. And then Jerry goes, he did drag long time ago, very uncomfortable at first, but you get used to it.
Yeah, I agree. Like, drag's just, it's uncomfortable, and there's just some things that go numb. Like the toes, the knees. And if you tuck properly, you don't feel, like, there's been a couple times where, like, if you just tuck too tight, like, you feel the pull. But soon you just kind of twist. Just give it a twist. And then it's all, like, it's like origami, really.
It's an art form that I've learned to appreciate, but I love performing in front of crowds, but I don't know if I could, as an art form, I don't know if I could do that all the time.
I miss performing.
I know.
I want to go back up to Wisconsin. I want to go to the main club.
Yeah.
I want to just perform. I want to like roll around on the floor and people throw money on me.
Mythic goes, beards tickle if you know what I mean.
And you also get fully exfoliated too.
Right. Yeah.
I clean the beard out after. Dead skin buildup.
Dead skin buildup.
What would you think?
Is that what the kids are calling that these days?
No, it's
what's all that? Oh God. We were playing Cards Against Humanity the other night, and smegma was on one of the cards, and so we had to ask what smegma was, and they looked it up and read it, and I was just, no, thank you.
Jerry said, yeah, don't sit down when it comes to tucking. Yeah,
right.
You're bound to be betrayed.
Sometimes I tuck for fun, says Gosh of Heckback. You know, that reminds me too, going back to Big Mouth.
Where he's doing the mangina.
Yeah, he does the mangina, and all of a sudden he ends up liking it. He's like tucked it with his legs real tight. He's like,
I'm tucked so
like,
fucking hard right now.
And he's like, what does he call it? Tuck jerking?
Yeah, he's just like, I'm one out 12 times and I'm going for 13.
Oh my God, it's crazy.
It's so funny. Because then Coach Steve comes in and he's like, there's a lady in here.
Mm-hmm.
How'd she get in the boys' locker room?
He's so weird. Let's see. I missed something. I know I saw something and I was going to read it out loud, but I think I missed it. Steve is giving out handies, though, because Steve put in the, he's like, I put a handy in the Discord. So Steve is giving out handies, which we've all kind of, like, questioned Steve already. And so I think this just kind of solidifies it for Steve. Just kidding, I love you. Don't hate me.
Hey, Steve doesn't make money somehow.
So Tony Regime says, a friend of mine was in a band called AM Gems. Read it backwards. Oh my God. Or read it backwards.
That's so funny.
AM
That's so funny.
You read it backwards. No. Again, no. Yeah, also, guys, Dark Steve is trying to get stuff going on his channel. He's going to start showing off his place that he's building, and he's going to start streaming, I think, game night. Start doing some games on there. So if you guys aren't in the Swordsman Discord, Steve, if you're available, pop the Swordsman Discord link into the side chat here, And come on, stop by. We are in the voice chat quite frequently on there. And a lot of times we'll start playing games, and it's just a lot of fun to kind of hang out with everyone.
Yeah, get Steve away from the handy jobs, you know?
Yeah,
get him out of
right.
that.
We need Steve. We need a distraction from him giving out those handies.
Right. It's desperate times, but come on.
Right. There we go. Oh, that's the YouTube. So good, we got the YouTube going, which we are doing that. Sounds like we're doing it Saturdays, which would be at 10 p.m. UTC, or that'd be like Sunday morning for like the weird upside down people in Australia. Yeah. There's our Discord. Surf got it in there for us. Thank you, Surf, for putting it in the chat. So come on, stop by. Still trying to get him on Discord so we can get him into some Minecraft groups and get him in some other Discords where we play games and stuff like that, and join in on the fun.
I keep smelling pretzels, like Auntie Annie's pretzels. Am I having a stroke?
No, your arm is up, so you're probably smelling your own arm. It probably smells like pretzels.
I wish.
I know. I'd be like, I know. I was saying something too, and I forgot what I was gonna say when we were discussing. What were we discussing? I don't know. See, this is the problem with getting old. In Germany, a handy is a cell phone.
It's a good phone call then.
I wouldn't mind that for a phone call. We're getting buzzed on. Let me guess. This could be. It's Jerry. Oh. I won't read it out loud. Oh, so it's just Jerry saying, seeing if we're going to be able to use the iFly for creating that video, because I think that's what I was saying. Like, the video it's going to be used a lot for the bloopers and stuff, and Jerry was even saying in there that it wasn't that great. And then he says, thank you for getting him addicted to Big Mouth, and Mippet loves Big Mouth as well. And
So
pretzel scented deodorant.
I wish. I really wish. Mine's like fruit punch. Because I'm 5.
Your deodorant or your body odor?
My body, there's something else. Get into my pheromones.
Mine. Oh. Hey, sorry, got someone coming home, so they're going crazy. No, mine are right. I know, Mippet. I say I'm 40 with a mind of an 18-year-old and an internal body that feels like an 80-year-old. With all that I'm doing. Oh, shush. Oh, shush. Oh, shush. It's a little boy.
You don't need to fight.
He's so tough. Dark Steve says you're all 21 to me. Whatever, Dark Steve, you're younger than me. So, do you guys? I was gonna ask people if they have video ideas, created content video ideas that I could come up with. Some of the stuff, like I said, hey, shush. I'm gonna do the how a parachute deploys. I'm gonna do the time-lapse video of a rocket. I'm going to do kind of like a tour of iFly and how everything kind of works and runs in there. I can't take you guys in certain areas of it because obviously it's top secret stuff that iFly doesn't want you to see or know. And then kind of go over like the driver's booth. So that's some of the things I was going to discuss. Maybe get more in depth on some of the drones. Go over maybe some more stuff as far. Oh no, they're all hacking and stuff. Go over different types of body flight. But if there's other stuff that you guys have ideas for, I would love to hear ideas from you guys. And I just started up a Patreon. I'm going to put links to things, start going videos forward. So I opened up a Patreon, and then I have Venmo and PayPal. And so I hate asking people for money, but if people do want to contribute, to help me be able to either purchase a graphics card in the future or to upgrade systems and stuff like that to be able to have created content or to be able to have stuff that works better, so that way when we do these live streams we can have people come on and not have to work on this laptop that's That's the thing I'm putting out there now. I'm not going to come up with some weird joke like the plot hole does, like, you know, and that's the oneater, not the number of the oneater, whatever the hell that joke was. Which is supposed to be Wonder from like the movie That Thing You Do, I think it is. He's burping. Yeah, the movie That Thing You Do with who's all in it? There's a lot of people in that movie.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah, Tom Hanks is in there, and I'm not sure who else. And gave you a heads up to what link?
His OnlyFans.
His OnlyFans link,
His
where
handies.
he gives the handies. Yeah. So I think we're gonna probably kind of start to wind it down here now. Anyways, we've been going for about 2 hours, and this was actually kind of fun. You guys had a lot of good questions. We had a lot of good talks as far as like throwback stuff, old cartoons, and talked about comic books, and talked about the big old fail in my opening on how I thought we were streaming for 15 minutes, but we weren't.
That's funny.
But we didn't actually. Here, hold on. See, it's my Patreon link is literally whatever it is, like www.patreon.com/ and then I think it's Skydiver Tanner. So
Dark balls.
yeah. Dark Steve and Dark Balls. Ooh. Do you think Dark Steve and Dark Balls are like Siamese twins or conjoined twins, or? Because you never see them in the same room at the same time.
Spooky.
Well, I guess if they were conjoined twins, they'd have to be in the same room. But you never really see like them in a stream together. I think.
Yeah, I want photographic evidence.
Yeah.
Please. Drop that link below.
Oh, Gizzy, quit.
Gizzy.
But yeah, I think maybe no, he is Kiwi. Oh, okay then. There,
Wow.
don't get into that battle of the Australian
So it's
Kiwis.
like
I mean,
peach fuzz?
yeah, I don't know. It's like they don't know how to fight emus down there, so it's all good.
Makes sense.
But okay, we are going to wind this up. We're going to start to. I'm going to wind this up. We're going to start wrapping it up for the night. But I'm just glad that you guys came by, and thanks for hanging out with Chase and I. We're going to start to make this a regular Wednesday thing. So if people have questions, think about them throughout the week. You know, do your homework. We're going to try to come up with maybe topics that we want to do or bring up, or otherwise we just shoot the shit like this and have some fun. Once the better computer gets going, let's get some people in here. We'll maybe have like a 4-person panel where we discuss things, and then next week have another different group of people coming in here. And then the other thing too is I'm going to play the outro, and I hope that it works well and doesn't skip. I hope you guys really like it. It's about 3 minutes long, so you don't have to watch all the outro. It's kind of punny, like there's 2 puns in it, and I know Mippet goes, I would love to see you meet a wild emu, because they're not nice. Emus are not nice.
They're like the moose of that place. Because moose aren't nice.
Aren't nice.
No, they're really mean.
Yeah.
Moose will mess you up.
Well, I mean, they come from the land of like duck-billed platypus and like koalas and stuff. So.
And giant ass motherfucking spiders.
So. Yeah, well, you know, Gosh Heckfire says, glad I happened across this. You guys are amazing. Well, we love having everyone here, and this is kind of the fun of it, to just hang out and goof around and have random talks and talk about random things, talk about what's going on. So, you know, like last week it got kind of more in depth. We talked a lot about spirituality last week, which Mippet will have to hit each other up on Discord sometime to have a little discussion on that. You know, we had to talk about spirituality. We had a little bit on kind of on politics. I try to avoid it a little bit, you know, unless it comes to something where it's like something everyone should be into, is like equality and stuff like that. But I'm starting to turn into Brainy Beaver, so I'm going to just say we are going to cut it right here, and I'm going to put it in the transition, and we can still talk in the chat here. But anyways, I will see you guys later.